What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought that I would make the avocado brownies that I have talked about on my previous videos. This is what I eat whenever I want something sweet. So as you guys know from my other videos, I do follow the carnivore lifestyle. Now I will say I've kind of geared off of it just a little bit. I usually do only eat meat throughout the day, but I do allow myself to have, I want to say no more than 30 carbs a day. So I won't say that I'm doing the carnivore lifestyle because I'm eating carbs, but it's very, very, very minimal. So if anything, I'm doing more so keto, and this would be a keto dessert. So I don't know, just living a good lifestyle is what I'm trying to do. Who cares what you label it? This is what I do. And so because I've strayed away from strict carnivore, or from what I was doing, and allowed myself to eat sugary things here and there, obviously my body is now craving that on a daily basis. And I hate to have actual cookies or processed foods because it does make me feel like crap. I'm gonna make it with you guys here, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. And just so you know, this is not my recipe. I actually took it from another guy who uploads recipes for his content, and I came across this one, did it, really liked it, and so hopefully you guys can take this recipe and make it your own as well, and hopefully you guys like it. So the goal is just to have avocados that are pretty much almost bad or very soft. I wouldn't say bad, but that are soft. I'm just gonna keep my trash can here so I can throw away all that stuff. I'm gonna do half an avocado, then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. And I'm gonna leave the recipe down below so that way you don't really have to watch all this. I don't have measuring utensils. I think the most I got was this. As you can tell, I don't cook, so bear with me. 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 3 tablespoons of sugar-free sweetener, calls for melted butter, so I'm just gonna put the remaining of this that I have, and I'm gonna microwave that. 1 large egg, and then these are optional. A half teaspoon of vanilla and a half teaspoon of baking powder. Do half a teaspoon of this stuff. So I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. That is probably way more than half a teaspoon. Oh well. Baking powder. A tablespoon of butter. A tablespoon. So all of this makes a little personal serving size of the brownie, and I want to make enough for the weeks to fill this pan. So I'm just going to multiply everything by 5. I'm going to do 5 servings of this and make a whole batch. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that we have all of our ingredients in the bowl, we are now going to mix it all together. I did a total of 1, 2, 3 avocados. Okay, so actually while I mix this, because it does take some time to mix because you want to have it as smooth as possible, I thought that it would take this time to kind of talk about just some personal stuff and see if anybody out there can relate. So it's been super tough for me this year, which is, I was telling myself and one of my friends how ironic how tough this year is for me, considering that my word for the year is faith. And I just truly feel like the enemy is really taking that to an extreme and testing it since the beginning of the year. I've been struggling with, you know, my career, just as far as finding the amount of families that I want to be helping this year. I am definitely behind as far as my goal. Especially when I'm trying to really advance myself year after year after year. So it's really discouraging. I've also been struggling a lot mentally, And I say that in the sense of, I've always believed in God, but I just feel like I've been struggling a lot with my faith lately. Kind of the whole, are you there, are you listening kind of thing, and you know, it's trial after trial after trial after tribulation for me for the past 3 months. Like, it has not gotten easier for me, and I wish I could tell you in detail as to really what I'm talking about, but I won't. Maybe that'll be for my podcast. And yesterday, actually, a little emotional open up to you guys. I actually had a breakdown yesterday, and it was just, you know, I break down a lot, especially with the career that I'm in. It's very stressful. And just going through my own, you know, personal things, my own personal thoughts, my own personal battles. And so I had a breakdown last night, and I was really hysterically crying and just trying to get through that moment, right? And it was pretty cool, not the breakdown and the crying, but I know that God is real and God heard me, or so I want to believe that it was, because there's just no other explanation, right? And like I said, I've always believed in God. By the way, don't ever lick the spoon with this recipe. It does not taste like actual brownies. So anyways, during my cry and during my breakdown, I was just, you know, asking her, I'm like, please just tell me that you hear me. Please tell me that you hear me. I'm not alone. You didn't leave me. That you're there and everything's gonna be okay. And as I was breaking down and crying and all that good stuff, just randomly in my thoughts inside my head said Romans 8:28. And this is what it said. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And I've heard that verse before, but I didn't know it enough that I immediately knew what it was, so I had to go look it up mid-breakdown. And I read that and I was like, okay. I really wanted to make sure that I knew what God was trying to tell me in that moment. And it was basically that despite all your trials, no matter what's going on in your life, God is gonna take all of it and use it, right? So again, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So again, we know that in all things, it's those two words, all things, God works for the good. So it doesn't matter what season you're in, doesn't matter what you're going through, God is gonna use that. God is gonna use that pain, that confusion, that struggle, that season, that trial, that tribulation, and he's gonna use it some way, some form for the good. We just have to wait and be patient for his timeline, which is probably the hardest thing for me. That, and also just, you know, I like to be in control of stuff. So it's definitely hard for me to take that with patience. Just in a nutshell, that's kind of what happened. And I just, you know, I said thank you, because he basically did talk to me in that little moment where I just randomly thought of that verse and I didn't even know what it said until I looked it up. And then when I did, I'm like, okay, you hear me, I love you, thank you. I've also been struggling with just being almost like lazy, and doubt and fear are chaining me to the ground. Naturally, I'm a very hard worker. Like, one of the greatest things I like about myself is my work ethic. I work so hard and I don't give up. Like, one thing I don't do is I don't give up. I don't give up on people. I don't give up in relationships. I don't give up on friendships. I don't give up on my my job, what I really want, like whatever I'm chasing after. Like, I work for it and I don't give up, right? And lately I've just been chained by doubt, fear, and laziness. Like, I've been trying to become a 3:30 a.m. person for a really long time now, since maybe last year, and I was doing good for a couple of weeks and then I just stopped, and then I can't seem to get back on it. No matter how bad I want it, no matter how bad I keep telling myself, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's like every single day, it's just like the enemy just has me down, and unfortunately he's winning right now. And I hate to say that, and I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, because he won't win. He won't have the final victory. Jesus does. Jesus always does. So it's like I just have to change how I'm thinking and what I'm constantly telling myself mentally. And honestly, one of the biggest things I also struggle with, this is such a diary moment, like I honestly struggle with feeling good enough and feeling like I'm worthy, and that goes back to so many different things that's happened in my life, if I'm being honest. And I'm working on it, because it sucks to be the kind of woman that I am, and people think that I'm always like peppy and great and happy, and I am for the most part. And I try to center myself, you know, in a great mindset and with Jesus, but if people only knew, like, I struggle with feeling worthy and feeling good enough on a daily basis, and it's tough. And I share this because if you're also going through a season where it's just been tough for you, hey, I hear you. I'm right there with you. We're in this together if you're also going through it, and I would love to, you know, pray for you if you're also going through something, and I would love prayers my way too. So love you guys. But I think this is the pretty much as best it's gonna get. It's pretty smooth for the most part. So I'm going to butter this pan and then put it in the oven, and then once it's all done and ready to be eaten, I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna share a little piece with you on camera. I love you guys. Almost done. Look at it. Oof, oof. We only got about 46 seconds left. Let's go. Let's go. Look at it. I already poked it to make sure that it was good, and it is good. Check it out. Right in the middle. Nothing. Yay, I'm gonna let this bad boy cook. Or sorry, I'm gonna let this bad boy cool down, and then we'll eat some together. Okay, so it's not completely cooled down yet, but I want to taste it already because I haven't had these in forever. As you'll see, you'll still have some avocado chunks in there, but honestly, you won't even taste it when you're eating the brownie. But that's what it's gonna look like on the inside. It still needs to cool. And then here's my little piece. Again, you don't be afraid of the avocado little pieces. They, honestly, you can't taste it. So this is what I do to make it taste a little bit better. Ignore my scratched up plate. I used to use this to cut meat. I douse it more with this on top. And then sometimes I'll slather some peanut butter on top of it too. And you eat it like this. And y'all, it is so good. Okay, I have my phone on my table, so it's a little bit hard right now. Let's take a bite together. I'm gonna actually put some peanut butter on it too. Trust me, it tastes a lot better than what you think it does and what it looks like. It still needs to cool down, but it's okay. Telling you, y'all, they don't taste like brownies, obviously, but they taste like a sweet treat. And it's really good when you put extra sugar-free syrup on top of it after it's done. A little slab of peanut butter. Let me know if you try it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.